I know, these comedians are terrific, and now I'd like to bring up a guy. Was on Saturday Night Live from like 1985 to 90, and I met this guy in this restaurant. We'd all hang out. I've known him for 30 years. He's a very nice man, great comedy writer, writes a lot of books. You know him from Comedy Central. Please give a hand for Jeffrey Gurian.
Wow. Amazing. I only have 8 minutes. Nice. Thank you. So listen, I have this friend, and he looks a lot like Josh Groban. And wherever he goes, people tell him that he looks like Josh Groban, and for some reason, he fucking hates it. So he called me the other night complaining that wherever he goes, people tell him he looks like Josh Groban. I'm like, what the fuck are you complaining about? At least you get somebody normal. I get if Phil Spector fucked Elton John. Which could actually happen, by the way. That's so funny. People think it's funny if you know what you look like, right? Now, every single one of you thinks you know what you look like, but you know what you look like to you. You want to know what you look like? Ask somebody else to describe you. But if you really want to know what you look like, ask a little kid to describe you. Trust me, you want to fucking kill yourself. Really, I asked this little kid to describe me. He looked at me for a minute. He's like, if Phil Spector fucked Elton John. And then he said, you look like you wandered away from a rock concert in 1968 during a particularly intense acid trip. You think that's bad? You should see what happened to me last week. I went into a store last week, and I bought something with my credit card, and I give the woman my credit card, and she looks right at me, right in my face, and she says to me, "Thank you, ma'am." And I was horrified. I was fucking horrified, right? So I turned around, hoping that there was a woman behind me. Yeah, but there wasn't. Now, truth be told, this has happened to me before, but only from the back. Because from the back, I'm pretty sure I look like a lesbian. It's confusing, right? It's confusing. But I'll tell you, so many things confuse me. I get confused. So many things confuse me. Like, don't you hate it when you wake up in the morning and you're really in the mood to vote and there's no election? What do you do in a case like that, right? How do you take away that urge to cast a ballot? You know, and how come you never see an infant that looks familiar to you? You know? You never hear anyone say, you see that infant over there? I could swear I know him from somewhere. So many things are confusing to me. You know, I went into a store this week. I saw a sign that said occasional furniture. Occasional furniture. I'm like, what the fuck is it when it's not furniture? It's like most of the time it's a sweater, but occasionally it turns into a king-size bed. Fucking crazy, right? But I'll tell you what really confuses me is that for some reason people don't seem to care about certain parts of their bodies. And it's true, I don't understand why. For some reason, people don't seem to care about their arms. That would explain the bulletproof vest. Because if I was a cop, I'd be like, don't you have something with sleeves? Bulletproof pants, maybe a fucking hat, something, you know? It's like I've never been shot, but I don't think there's any part of the body that takes a bullet particularly well. Could just be me, I don't know. Tell you what else confuses me, expressions. There's a lot of expressions in English that are very weird, and a lot of them have to do with animals. You ever hear anybody say he's happy as a clam? How fucking happy is a clam? Seriously, is that a realistic goal in your life, to be as happy as a clam? I never even seen a clam smile. And they make horrible pets. Now, dogs, on the other hand, make wonderful pets, and people are very fond of saying he's sick as a dog. How many dogs you see that look sick? Every dog I see looks happy as a clam. And then there's that expression, he killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Who the fuck was ever doing that? Seriously, when was that a thing? Like in prehistoric times, killed 2 birds with 1 stone. But I'll tell you the expression that really confuses me. I drank him under the table. I drank him under the table. How much do you have to drink that the other guy goes under the table? Are you kidding me? You would think if you drink a lot, you go under the table. In this expression, the other guy goes under the table. I don't know if I want a guy under my table when I'm drinking that much. It sounds like a gay fantasy to me. I don't know. Anybody here ever had the experience of drinking more than they wanted to? Now, you know how you know you drank too much? When you try to sign your credit card slip with your penis. Yeah, I did that one night, and the gay drunk guy next to me asked if he could borrow my pen. And I lent it to him, too. Does that make me gay? I don't know. Anyway, let me leave you on this. People tend to say that chivalry is dead, right? And by people, I basically mean women. Because you will never hear a guy say that chivalry is dead. Now, chivalry was very big in like the 1600s. It seemed to have something to do with men throwing their coat in the mud for a woman to step on. I'm like, who came up with that bright idea? Dry cleaners? It's like, how the fuck would that even work? Well, were coats made of wood in those days? You throw your coat in the mud, it magically turns into a ramp. The chick just glides over the puddle. There's a picture this scenario. It's the 1600s. You're walking with this chick. It starts to rain. You come up against the puddle. She starts looking at you. Next thing you know, she's looking at your coat. You're like, hey, I just got this coat. This is a brand new fucking coat. It's the 1600s. We're poor as shit. You want me to throw this coat in the mud? I got a better idea. Why don't I keep the coat? You walk around the fucking puddle. You selfish bitch. Seriously. I gotta throw a perfectly good coat in the mud to show some chick I'm polite? Throwing your coat in the mud doesn't mean you're polite. It means you're a fucking moron that has no respect for his clothing. Anyway, you guys have been great. I'm Jeffrey Gurian. Thank you so much.